It's like the protein thing. Should I get into that?
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk
protein.
Let's talk plant-based protein.
Whole food plant carbohydrates are the best fuel for athletes.
I want to learn how to make carrot hot dogs, but that might be a story for another day. Do you think all athletes can be plant-based?
Yes, definitely. I think that any athlete that wants a competitive edge can go plant-based and should go plant-based, and at least on the journey towards being plant-based or vegan. Check out the studies. There's tons on pcrm.org, lots on nutritionfacts.org too. But yeah, I think that that's the reason a lot of athletes hide the fact that they're vegan, because it is their competitive edge. You can have better control over your body mass and your metabolism increases. So sometimes, like if you are a strength training athlete, for example, and you're trying to build mass, you just have to eat more, but it's so possible. You check out like Patrick Baboumian, and he eats 6,000 calories a day on a plant-based diet. And, or if you're an endurance athlete, then just focus, you know, you don't have to eat that many calories, but just make sure that you're getting enough calories and enough variety of foods, and it can be really beneficial as an athlete.
Which Olympics was that when you competed, and what sport did you compete in?
So I ended up going on with ski racing and becoming a national team member on the ski cross team.
Amazing.
Did the World Cup circuit for a few years, and then ended up pre-qualifying for the Olympics in 2010. But unfortunately, I blew my knee 1 month before the actual games, like to the day. And I ended up competing on that blown knee because I was like, it was my Olympic dream and I was there. So I did that, even though it was, you know, cortisone shots and training and a little mini surgery so I could actually bend my knee at least.
I can't imagine how painful that was.
It was such a trip. Yeah. It was just wild and painful, yes. For those that don't know what ski cross is, some might think it's cross-country skiing on flat
it's not.
ground. It's very much not. Yeah, it's 4 people or 6 at the X Games, going down a course with jumps and rollers and bank corners.
So really not cross-country skiing.
Head-to-head racing, and the first 2 to cross the finish line move on to the next round. So people say it's roller derby on skis, but it's not really that either. It's just a lot of fun, and there's crashes and there's passing and like, good
Sounds
times.
Amazing. Very cool. Your inspiration to start going plant-based, can you kind of chat a little bit more about that?
Yeah, first it started with the health benefits because my knee was inflamed. And now I have to say, after 6 years of being vegan, my knee is rarely inflamed.
Which is amazing.
Isn't
really,
it?
like proof is in the pudding, right?
Yeah, and I run daily, but it was mainly that. It was the inflammation part. It was also, I saw, there's so many studies out there now showing that going plant-based as an athlete is really amazing for endurance, inflammation, energy, glycogen levels too. So for me, training before, it's like, I really wish I went vegan beforehand when I was training for the Olympics. But whole food plant carbohydrates are the best fuel for athletes. If they're the best fuel for athletes, it's the best fuel for anybody that needs to perform in any way, like at the office or just getting out of bed.
What stereotypes did you face both when you were an omnivore and as a plant-based athlete?
The typical stereotypes for a vegan athlete, an athlete that wants to go vegan, immediately is like, oh, you're not gonna get enough protein. You're gonna have low energy. Your iron levels are gonna be low. You're gonna lose all your muscle. You're not gonna be able to do what you're usually doing. But it's just all so the opposite from what I've experienced and from what the research is saying. I encourage everyone to go to pcrm.org. They've got a ton of research on there all about plant-based athletes.
So many inspiring stories too.
So many inspiring, well, the game changers alone, right? That's so inspiring. It's like the protein thing. Should I get into that?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's
talk
get into the protein.
Let's talk plant-based protein.
Protein is, the building blocks for protein are amino acids. You can get all of those amino acids just from the plant kingdom. You don't have to eat the animal just to get the protein that the animal is eating from the plants. It's also all about the package that the protein comes in. The plant package comes with minerals and vitamins and phytonutrients, plus water content and fiber, which nobody talks about enough. Like fiber is so important. Fiber! Yeah, 97% of people are deficient in fiber.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
It's a crazy statistic.
Yeah, and plant fibers are prebiotics for the gut. So pretty much food for your microbiome. And your microbiome is the precursor of all health. I always tell people to ease into it though, because some people are coming from zero fiber diet or very low, and then into a plant-based diet saying like, oh, that didn't work for me. I can't eat beans, they make me fart.
I think that's
like,
a great step, right? Like if you switch suddenly to a raw diet entirely, it's going to be really hard on your digestive system. So like anything, you want to kind of, you know, ease into it. I think that's really important.
Yeah, diversification is key. But you have to go low and you have to go slow. That is the tempo.
Ooh, I like that.
Dr. B, you gotta check him out.
Go slow.
The Gut Health MD on Instagram, it's great.
I think I know the answer to this, but would you ever go back to an omnivore diet? No, I don't think so.
No. Why? You can get every single nutrient that you need from plants. Just veganize your old favorites. Whatever you love and whatever's nostalgic to you, you can make into a vegan version. It's all about just taste and texture, and you can recreate taste and texture with any kind of plant. There's 300,000 plants in this world, edible plants.
It's crazy.
And so many options,
Discovering, do you ever cook with liquid smoke?
Yes.
Discovering liquid smoke.
Coconut bacon with liquid smoke.
Bacon.
Or carrot bacon.
Yes, all of the things.
Or rice paper bacon.
I want to learn how to make carrot hot dogs, but that might be a story for another day.
We could talk about food for an hour.
We could. What was the biggest change you experienced physically and or mentally when you went plant-based?
The anti-inflammatory benefits for sure. Like I say, my knee is not inflamed anymore. I
mean, and that's huge. Just like after having surgeries and just to really say that that's not even an issue anymore. That's really significant.
And I just feel like I can eat in abundance. And I'm not depriving myself. It's just like so satisfying to eat. Like I get to eat this massive meal.
Like plate
I love
piled
eating.
Full of delicious
rainbow foods.
Yes, absolutely. One last question for you. What did you think of the movie Game Changers and the movement towards plant-based athletes in sports?
I love the Game Changers. You know, there's controversy and like Joe Rogan podcasts and then rebuttals, and I actually think that it's amazing because it's getting all of this information out there and it's getting people fired up, and it's actually getting out into the masses. And it's very mainstream, and I'm a huge fan of James Wilkes. I think he did an incredible job. He is a truth seeker, he calls himself, in the film, and you can totally see that. Like he goes through all of the research when he was injured and trying to figure out how he can be a better athlete. And he came to the plant-based lifestyle as the answer. And I just loved all the athletes on there too. All of the
that must have really resonated with you.
And Dotsie Bausch, I actually interviewed her too for our podcast. She has an incredible story. So just getting those inspiring stories into the world just opens up the door and opens up the like idea of going plant-based in people's mind that probably didn't even think about it because it's so far reaching now.
Absolutely.
It's incredible. It gets the conversation started.